Good afternoon from the Royal International Air Tattoo at RAF Fairford.
I'm Flight Lieutenant Philip Clements of 120 Squadron Royal Air Force Lossiemouth.
We're here on board the RAF's Poseidon Maritime Patrol Aircraft. Of course, the name is Poseidon, King of the Seas, looking after Britain's maritime security. Phil, what's the big role of this aircraft? Why is it so good at dominating the seas?
So the Poseidon MRA1, the Maritime Reconnaissance and Attack Aircraft Mark I, was primarily designed as an anti-submarine warfare aircraft to replace the P-3 Orion for the United States Navy. So it excels at finding submarines. It has a secondary role of anti-surface unit warfare, using its radar to find large warships, carrier groups, etc. on top of the water. And additionally to that, as a layering tool, it has a camera. It has electronic support measures for finding radars and other emitters. And all these we can layer together to get a great picture of vessels on the sea and under it to support our Royal Naval colleagues in taskings.
So could you give us some idea of what the Poseidon's been doing over the past few months to protect Britain's maritime trade, territorial waters and the Royal Navy aircraft carrier?
So life goes on for us. We are exceptionally busy at the moment. The main thing we're doing, of course, is looking after Britain's strategic waters, our continuous at-sea deterrent with the Vanguard class submarines, making sure they have freedom to manoeuvre. We're looking for any non-NATO or adversary nations encroaching on our waters, just to keep an eye on them. Of course, we're not openly at war. We just keep an eye on what they're doing, whether that's coming from the Mediterranean back home or out from other places. We are assuring our NATO allies across the continent, going into the Baltic, going to the north and out into the Atlantic, projecting our power, showing our presence, as well as supporting our Royal Naval colleagues and indeed our colleagues in NATO. We've also been in support of the Royal Navy on Operation HIMARS, taking two Poseidons to Royal Air Force Akrotiri in Cyprus, where we've been projecting into the Red Sea to ensure a safe transit of the carrier support group into the Red Sea.
Now, every couple of weeks or so, the news media is full of information released by the Ministry of Defence about Russian submarines and ships transiting through UK waters, going through the English Channel or other parts of the Irish Sea, other parts of our territorial waters. What kind of things do these ships do, and what do you bring to monitoring and keeping an eye on them?
So the whole purpose of a submarine is to be sneaky, stealthy and undetected. As soon as we find it, that's that advantage lost. Obviously, under international law, you can sail 12 miles off of a country absolutely legally. That's your freedom of navigation high seas. And really, we're just there keeping an eye, making sure no one tries anything on either side to ensure the peace is kept and everyone stays friendly with each other.
So how tricky are these Russians? Are they trying to hide from you, or do they give you a hard time, or do they just sail by and wave at you, or how does it normally go?
So generally it's amicable. We are keeping our standoff distances that we're given. We're keeping outside of or inside of our rules. They're keeping within theirs. We're each going to our approved TTPs and internationally agreed standoff distances to ensure that we don't cause an international incident or an escalation. We're doing our own thing. We're letting them do our own thing, and we're each keeping on our own side of the law.
So what's next on the agenda for the Poseidon Force over the next couple of months or years?
So our main focus at the moment is growing the fleet. We currently have 9 aircraft. We're trying to grow our crews. We're trying to get more people in. Obviously, the Royal Air Force is recruiting at the moment, so we're always looking for air crew, both commissioned and non-commissioned, who want to come and fly the aircraft. So growing up to our frontline strength of 18 crews is really our focus. All the while, we are going to be continuing doing our tasking from the UK Maritime Operations Centre for the at-sea deterrent, for trade routes, as you've marked earlier, as well as our Baltic and other NATO tasking.
Final question for you, tricky one. Is RAF Lossiemouth going to host the Fincastle Trophy?
Not only are we going to host it, we're going to win it as well. So we are still doing the Ed White, we're still doing the Fincastle, and we're looking forward very much to interacting with our historical partners in the maritime world, our Commonwealth friends, by participating in RIMPAC next year, as well as inviting them back to Lossiemouth and showing them how maritime patrolling is done properly.